Greetings and welcome to another TonicMan podcast. Of course, we are broadcasting for the world. We do ship around the world, so don't forget, make sure you let your friends, relatives, loved ones in different countries know that they also can benefit from the miraculous results when you use JC Tonic, the youth solution. And Youth Solution tonight is going nostalgic. We are not going back 80 years to the time when my dad began commercializing it. That was in 1943, and by 1945, it was such a going concern that he had to form a company. He called it Matol, Matol. And today it is called JC Tonic, the Youth Solution. And of course, we've had really great representation and help to make sure everyone pays it forward by our great ambassadors of health. What a noble name for a distributor, an ambassador of health. And that's because our ambassadors of health are on a mission. We've called it the Health Crusade. It is indeed a mission to see if we can give better health to people, get them out of their ill health woes, I could call it. And this goes back many, many years when my dad first began, because he was really making this product available through a network, just as we do today. And some of our great ambassadors over the years have taken it upon themselves to do their own podcast, or in those days, it was a conference call. Of course, we did conference calls all the time and are doing the video podcasts of late. But some of those conference calls were just incredible. One in particular, from a lady who was one of our top ambassadors of health. She left to go to other things in life, and too bad she did, because probably by now she'd be making $25,000 or $30,000 a month, because she did such an incredible job of paying it forward. And she used to do conference calls and invite people and actually do the call herself. So she would replace me from time to time, as did some of our other great top ambassadors. And I want you to listen to this, because I think that now in 2026, that's what you all should be doing. Do these video conference podcasts just like we are doing, and you do them either an audio or, better still, a video. But listen to how she pulled together people and had them tell their story, and just do exactly the same thing. So have a listen, and I'll come back at the end of the call to give you a couple of comments of how you can proceed to do the very same thing. So hang on to your seats. Here we go.
Welcome to the TonicMan Show. Please listen to the following disclaimer. Uric Classic Whole Body Tonic is a dietary supplement, not a drug. Therefore, it is useful to affect the structure and/or function of your body in various ways, but it is not intended to and will not cure, mitigate, treat, or prevent any disease. Individual testimonials, like those you will hear, reflect truthful, actual experiences of consumers who took JC Tonic, but they may not be representative, and they do not constitute scientific evidence that the tonic will have the same effect in others, including yourself. Uric Corporation does not make such drug or treatment claims for its product. And now, the Tonic Man himself, founder of Uric Corporation, Anthony Carl Uric.
Good evening, everyone. This is Debra Gans. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'll be taking Anthony's place this evening, and I know I can't live up to Anthony on the calls, but I will do my best this evening. I've been with them now for 6.5 years, and the JC Tonic is, as far as I'm concerned, the most incredible product on the planet. JC Tonic stands for Uric Classical Tonic, and it has 18 bidirectional tonic herbs in it. And I would just like to briefly share my best explanation of the JC Tonic. And some people wonder why the JC Tonic is so incredibly unique. And that's because it cleans and purifies the blood. It also balances out all the organs, the heart, the liver, the lung, the small intestine, the large intestine, the spleen, pancreas, right around the clock, all the organs, the pituitary, the thyroid, the parathyroid, the gonads, the adrenals, the pancreas, and the hundreds of minor glands. It also balances out all the body systems, the immune system, the cardiovascular, the nervous system, the digestive system, the endocrine system, the musculoskeletal, and the reproductive systems. So this is the only whole body tonic on the planet that we know of. And that's one of the reasons JC Tonic is so incredible, and it's also bidirectional. And some of you may wonder what bidirectional means. And according to Dr. Daniel Mowry, there's about 6,000 herbs in the world today, but only 200 of them are herbal tonics. And this product has 18 herbal tonics in it. Now, the difference between regular herbs and herbal tonics are that regular herbs, vitamins, minerals, and medications, they push the body in one direction. And because they go in one direction, sometimes they can go too far in one direction, so we can overdose on them, and they're called directional products. And for instance, if you were to take the herb golden seal, it would give you more white blood cells. But if you have too many in your body already, it doesn't know how to get rid of the excess. Where herbal tonics, on the other hand, are bidirectional, which mean they move in a multiple of directions and they bring everything toward the center and balance out your entire system. So we cannot overdose on herbal tonics. They will not push or pull the body systems too far in any direction. So they're safe for people on medication. They're safe for children. They're safe for pregnant women. They're safe for the elderly. They're safe for animals. So anyone that has blood needs the JC tonic. So we'll get right into the call. And at this time, I would like to ask and see if Dorothy and Charles are on the line.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Dorothy and Charles.
Charles,
Okay, so if you could share with us again your name, where you're calling from, and how long you've been on the JC Tonic.
this is the second time for us. Right now we're on 38 days. We had started at the beginning of the year, and we just kind of ran out of money. But just as things were happening really neat when it happened, so we tightened our belts and waited for about 2.5 months and saved up the money, and here we are again. This has been phenomenal. Things have been happening for us. In the last 3 weeks, we've been able to change what we've been struggling with for years. I'll introduce my husband, Charlie, and he can tell you, what it's meant for him. We've been taking about 2 ounces a day.
And Dorothy, when did you both start the JC Tonic?
July the 14th, I believe.
Okay, and you said you started and you stopped?
Back in February, we're on it for about 2 months. But things have more or less have stabilized since then. But even when we came back in, everything is going down still. So it wasn't for nothing that we, did this, and I knew it'd work. I just knew it because it just had too many good things in it, and I've been looking for this tonic for years. I knew I'd finally found it. I've been looking at immune system enhancers and everything like that. It just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to address what was going on in our lives. So this is the real thing.
Wonderful. So your husband Charles is going to share with us your testimonies?
Yes, here.
Okay, Charles, if you could share
Yes,
that information.
my name is Charles Ellis. I'm 66 years old. I had 2 congestive heart failures. My wife will give you the date.
It's been in 2000 and last year in 2005.
Yes, and I have 5 doctors, and 2 of them are convinced about the tonic. My diabetes doctor told me that she'd like to have my recipe because my blood sugar and everything has come down with the JC tonic.
So could you tell us what your readings were?
Yeah, the last 3 days it's 66, 88, 72, and he's been on 35 units, and I think we're going to go down to 30 units. And from the last 30 days, he's gone down about 13.6 points.
Wow, that's pretty incredible, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And same way with his blood pressure. Used to be when he go to the doctor's office, he'd be there for hours because they wouldn't let him, leave till they brought his blood pressure down.
My blood pressure was in 300s.
And what is it now?
Okay, it was from this last year. We've been able to get it down quite a bit. It was 148 over 82 and pulse rate 72, and it fluctuated from 163 over 81 and like that. We were on the tonic. It went down to 127 over 68 for the pulse rate of 72. And the doctor said, well, won't see you in four till 4 months since you're doing so good.
How often did he go before?
Pardon me?
How often did he have to see him?
Every 3 months.
Oh, every 3 months.
I go in and take my lab work and
What happened too, just the other day, also to his diabetes doctor, it went up a tiny bit, but he hadn't even taken his blood pressure pills at all. So I think we need to even maybe cut them in half or something, and that's why I'm trying to get all this information so we can do that. It read 130 over 70 with a pulse rate of 60, and that's without any blood pressure pills at all.
And how many?
Really encouraged on that.
And how many blood pressure pills were you taking, Charles?
He takes 3.
And he
One
was,
in the morning and 2 in the evening.
and he wasn't taking any, and it went
I
down.
didn't take any. I forgot to take them that morning.
Yeah, when he went to see the doctor, I thought, oh no, it's a skyrocket.
Wow.
Went up 3 points on one area and 2 points on the other, and it went way down on the pulse rate.
So was your doctor pretty impressed with everything?
Yeah, she told me she needed to get my recipe. I told her I'd bring her more information.
Oh, so you told her you're taking the JC tonic.
Yes.
Wow. That's pretty incredible, isn't it, to have one product that can work in all those areas?
I have a lot more energy and a lot more stamina.
Wonderful. That's incredible.
And my hair is all turning dark in the back.
Only in 2 weeks. And before, it was about 28 days before that happened.
It was turning black previous when he was on it?
No, it was totally gray. Totally gray all over before I started taking the tonic.
That's incredible. And after such a short time, it's starting to turn black again. So you sound like you're turning into a young man again, Charles.
Yes, my kidney doctor told me that I didn't need to come back for 4 months because I'm doing so well.
And you're taking 2 ounces a day of the JC tonic.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, that's incredible. And I know, Dorothy, that you had something happen with you also, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. Yes. I had a kidney stone reappear. They've been doing that for the last 6 years. Each time it seemed like it got worse. But this one was unusual. It was about the end of the last month, just around 6 o'clock. I could feel those waves of pain. And so I grabbed an ounce of the tonic it took it at 6 o'clock. And I'd say within up until about 11 o'clock, I was able to fall asleep. Yeah, this doesn't happen. I mean, I'd be up for 18 hours and then just being pelted, systematically with that horrible, horrible pain. It, it would start to escalate. But this time, I don't know what it is, whether by doing that, it was able to open up something or if it more or less just obliterated it.
Well, you got rid of a kidney stone is what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah, within about 5 hours compared to about 18 hours. Here I'd be sitting up all night long because I couldn't lay down. There's no way. I'd have to have a pillow braced up against my kidneys, and the only way I could rest is just close my eyes, period.
And I know you had mentioned that when you passed the kidney stone before, you took something else, but it took you almost 18 hours to 24.
Your unfiltered apple juice will more or less start to eat away at the kidney stone. That's not the only thing. Other than that, some people spend days, but that's worked for me in the past. I read it, a long time ago about that.
Right. So
now I have JC tonic instead, and I much prefer that.
wow, that's incredible. Thank you so much, Dorothy. And is there anything else you have to share?
Tons of things. I didn't know I had high blood pressure either, and that came down from 160 over 90 to 120 over 70 in about 26 days. And I've had tears start appearing that I think they're all linked, like my dry skin. Who in the world? I would never have thought that I'd ever have dry skin in all my life. I'm going to be 61 next week, and I have had oily skin all my life. This, I got the Helena, and uh, the same day, you can feel the difference. It's just so smooth and everything. Uh,
Helena, the whole body skin
whole body,
rejuvenator that
yeah.
the Uric also
And
has.
has amazing properties for so busy. Last week cooking, I forgot that I had this hot plate. You know, it was still hot, and I was doing too many things at once. I grabbed a hold of it, got it real good, and man, I let out a you know.
And
So I
but
ran for the Helena, and within 2 minutes, clenching my teeth so tight, just 2 minutes, and I never felt anything for that night. I never did blister or anything.
She grabbed the tonic first and poured it on her hand.
Yeah, and I said, okay, I know something will stay there.
okay, so you put the tonic and then the Helena afterwards.
Exactly.
Wow. So do you think the JC tonic is expensive with all the things that it can do?
No.
Not when that happens. I mean, I've burnt my hands before. I've spent hours with it.
When you have two products that can do all these incredible things, just one of these products or one of these things that you had
There's
mentioned,
nothing in comparison. I just, I would always have it around.
it's expensive if it doesn't work, right?
Yeah, but it goes a long way.
That's right. It's incredible. And that's why I always say I would give up many things before I give up the JC tonic for all the things that it can do. And it goes way beyond that. I know when I got on the JC tonic, there's things that it's still doing that I never even dreamed it would work on.
Mm-hmm.
And as time goes on, you'll find things that start changing in your body that you never dreamed would be possible.
Yeah, that's what I did when I first started. I made a list. I said, okay, what's wrong with me? And I went from head to toe, and there was kind of scary. It was kind of long after a while. It used to not be like that.
Right.
But
So
things have progressed in my life, and it just we just aren't eating. We're not able to have the nutrition we had in the past. It says that, and they known this since way back in '36. They've investigated it, and they kind of really need all these nutrients in our soil again.
right.
Either that, or a volcano's going to have to erupt in the middle of the United States to bring up all the minerals again. Something's going to have to happen, or have a lot of
Absolutely.
JC tonic around.
That's right. Well, thank you both so much for being on. We have a few more testimonies,
Okay.
so
Well,
I don't
certainly.
want to rush you along, but please come back again and update us. That was
Well, certainly.
both of you were.
Really, I have the greatest heartfelt thanks I want to give to you and Anthony, and it's just a dynamic product that everyone should, enjoy. This is the greatest thing that and with
Well, thank you so much, and I would have to agree 100%. Thanks again, and listen in to the rest of our testimonials. Okay, our next person we have is Kate. Kate, are you on the line with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Kate. Now, Kate has an incredible testimony because many people get on the JC Tonic, women that are pregnant, and they're concerned that they cannot take the JC Tonic because they're pregnant. So I really appreciate Kate being on because she has an incredible testimony. And Kate, if you could share your name again, where you're calling from, and how long you've been on the JC Tonic.
My name is Kate Dalsred, and I'm from Northern California. And my son and myself have been on it since last December. And let's see, I started taking it about the last 3 months of my pregnancy. And I was pretty cautious about that, but I went with Debra's advice and I did it anyway. And I ended up feeling really good all the way through my pregnancy. And when it came time for the baby to come, I actually had my baby at home, and she had actually induced me with some herbs, so I didn't actually take the tonic while I was in my labor, but I had taken it all the way up until, and I ended up having about a 3-hour labor. And I felt great after my delivery. I wanted to call everybody and tell them that the baby had come. And it was about 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night by the time I was able to do that. Uh, but my midwives kept checking the baby's contractions while I was delivering her, and they were just amazed at how the baby was reacting or not reacting to my contractions, because they said she is just such a happy baby. The contractions did not affect her at all. Her heart rate was right up there. And so they were kind of giggling amongst themselves, just not believing that that they could see such a happy baby in the womb still. And let's see, my midwife was amazed again at the recovery I made right after that. I did have some tears, and she just said I healed really quickly. And my baby, when she was taken for her blood test, they said that she had clotted really quickly. I mean, they had to poke her, the poor little thing, about 10 times to get the blood out from her. And just a lot.
Because she was clotting very quickly?
She was just clotting so quickly. Yeah, they were just amazed.
And I know you've had another child previous, right?
Yes, I have a 3-year-old.
And how would you compare that pregnancy to this one?
Actually, my pregnancy with him was pretty good as well, but my labor and delivery was horrible. I was in the hospital, and I had ended up having about a 12, 15-hour labor induced, and he ended up being cesarean. And that's why I had gone drastically to the other route and had my baby at home.
And that's why you were a little concerned about being on the JC Tonic also, because you really didn't know what to expect.
I didn't know what to expect, but I'm always ready to try something new, and if I really feel confident in that it won't hurt my baby, I'll go for it.
And what about, did you have swollen ankles or any of that?
I didn't. I really wasn't swollen with my son either, but I had no swelling actually at all with her.
Okay. And how was your energy level?
My energy level was great. I couldn't believe all the things that I was doing at 9 months pregnancy, running around here and there.
And what about weight gain? How was that?
My weight gain was a little bit more than I wanted to, but it was healthy. It wasn't too much and it wasn't too little. And I gained all the way up until the end.
And everything went smoother than normal.
Yes, everything went way smooth. I mean, a 3-hour labor compared to a 12-hour, it was incredible. I was just so happy.
And normally when a baby is born and the contraction starts, the heart rate will fluctuate for the baby?
Yeah, the heart rate usually goes down, especially during delivery, because they're in that tight space. But she was just, I mean, she had no reactions to them.
And does she look healthy?
She's very healthy. Yes, my midwife was amazed at how she had gained weight. When she was first born, the babies usually lose weight, and she didn't lose very much. And in fact, by the first week, she had already gained her birth weight back plus extra. And then she had packed on pounds, until 6 weeks. And the midwife was just like, "What are you feeding her?" And I was only nursing, so she's very healthy.
And is she alert?
She's very alert. She's very happy. She's just the calmest baby I think I have ever seen in my life. You put her down and she's just very content.
Well, I think it's so important that you share this with us, because I know we do have some women that are concerned when they are pregnant, and all the testimonies I've ever heard, it's always been just incredible like yours.
Yes, and I even have a niece who's now taking it, and I think she's about 2 months pregnant, and so she's taken it all the way through this one, and we can't wait to see how her baby's going to turn out.
I know that your whole family's taken the JC Tonic. Is that correct?
There's a lot of us.
Okay.
We have a big family, so we haven't gotten them all taken it yet, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I hear from many of them. So, so is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
I have my 3-year-old son is on it also, and he's had all sorts of problems from day one. He's had eczema, sleep problems. I was told that he had a yeast overgrowth in his intestines, and recently found out that he was bipolar. So I've had him on the tonic, and he's making great strides, great strides. Unbelievable.
So that's incredible. So you wonder if you would have been on the JC Tonic with him like you were with your daughter, if he would have had all those problems.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, with all the medications I was on with the cesarean, I'm sure it would have been much, much better.
Well, that's incredible. Thank you so much, Kate, for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
And we'd appreciate you coming back on again and updating us again.
Sure.
Okay, thanks again, Linda. So, Linda, if you could share with everybody, I know a lot of people probably know who you are, but we love to update people, because as we're on the JC Tonic, it keeps getting better and better. So whether you just started on the tonic, you've been on it for 5, 6, 7 years, it's keeps getting better, and Linda's here tonight to share that with us. So, Linda, if you could tell us your name, where you're calling from, and how long you've been on the JC Tonic.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Linda Davis and I'm from Zanesville, Ohio, and I'm 46 years old. I started on the JC Tonic in May of 2002. And one of the reasons that I decided to get on JC Tonic was I'd had a wreck in 1998, and I know most of you that have heard my experience before are familiar with this, but I developed what's known as fibromyalgia. And for all of you listening in that's not familiar with it, they really think it's kind of like an arthritis of the muscles, and it's relatively new, so they really don't have much relief in sight. And I can vouch for that because over a 4 year period of time, I spent over $20,000 trying to find relief with very little benefits. I had muscle spasms and it just infected. I say infected because it was like that infected, affected everything that I did in my life. So I didn't have a quality of life anymore. Couldn't enjoy playing cards. If I walked, it hurt, and then I was on three different medicines, and they were antidepressants, and they made me gain a lot of weight. So the whole situation was very, very frustrating. Um, so I was so surprised. I'd tried natural products before, and it made sense that something in a liquid would be easily used by the body. And if it could work the complete body, then, I was going to see relief somewhere. And so, if I just saw relief in the area of depression or something like that, I was going to be more than happy. But to my surprise, with the first dosage, believe it or not, I saw relief with my pain, and I had tried medicines and pain management and everything else, and had never seen much benefits with it. So I was surprised, and I thought, you know what, this isn't going to last. So here I am, August 2006, and it just keeps on getting better. Problems with my bones when I was younger. I broke 5 bones in 1 year, developed curvature of the spine, and my mother has osteoporosis. So I was prime candidate for having osteoporosis, especially at my age. But I had a screening done at the local mall. They were giving screenings away, and it was in April of this year. And to my surprise, I got my test results back, and they said I was normal. Well, you know what? There's different rates in normal. I thought, oh, how normal am I? Because I wanted to know. Well, my bone mass was actually 1.2. Now that didn't mean a thing to me. But when I'm looking at the chart, it says that a normal bone mass is between -1 and a +1. And for people that have osteoporosis, it's anywhere from a -2.5 to -4. And yet my bone test was zero point 0.2 above normal. So, that's just phenomenal. Had an eye exam, and I've always had problems with my eyes to where I couldn't see 20/20. They call it astigmatism. Guess what? My eye exam, 20/20. Couldn't believe that one either. And then my father has glaucoma, so there's glaucoma in my family, and the danger areas are like 26 and 27. No chance of glaucoma here, 12 and 13. So this is the best insurance policy a person could ever have. I'm just totally amazed being on a product that works the complete body. There's no way I ever thought I would see this type of benefits. And guess what? I don't have my pain. I still don't have my pain. So this is just
Wow,
phenomenal.
that's incredible, Linda. So you don't have any pain from fibromyalgia anymore.
Mm-mm. No, and I'm leading a very active life. I'm actually walking anywhere from 2 to 4 miles a day. So
Fantastic.
I,
And Lin-
the furthest I walked was from the bed to the kitchen, pretty much. I wasn't very active, so and I was sleeping 14 to 16 hours a day before I'd gotten on the JC Tonic back in 2002, and so I'm just excited. I'm accomplishing more since I've been on JC Tonic than I have in my whole life.
how incredible. And Linda, do you put the JC tonic in your eyes? Do you put drops in your eyes?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I found too that by taking the JC tonic internally as well as dropping it in my eyes, I mean, the benefits are just amazing. I went through a period where I actually thought my eyes were getting worse and worse and worse, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. Well, I have bifocals, so I've been sitting my bifocals down, and when I'm doing close up, I don't need it. when I'm doing close up work on the computer or something like that. I see better without them. So I can't wait to get that part of my eyes checked too.
So sometimes when you think that things are getting worse, it's actually getting better at that point, and you're just not aware of it unless you probably have read the book The Healing Crisis by Dr. Bruce Fife.
Yeah, I had read that book, but you know what? It still was confusing for me. And I was so glad they had the testing. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to get tested anyway just to see what's going on. And I was so amazed that things were getting things were getting better instead of worse because I thought, oh, I went through this period where I thought my eyes were getting worse and worse and worse, and I was afraid to go to the eye doctor. So I was just totally amazed.
Well, that is so incredible, Linda. You are definitely a walking testimony and great inspiration to all of us. So thank you so much for being on, and I know our time is short, and we'll have to do this again another time. And I would just like to thank all of you for being on the call this evening. And next Sunday, we have Carol Hollida from Coleman. She'll be the hosting the call. And Carol always does an incredible job, and she always brings on some people that share incredible testimonies. So I'd encourage all of you to get on these calls and bring your family and friends so that we can get as many people as possible to have these incredible experiences that we all have experienced that have been on the tonic. So thank you, everybody. I'd love to give an extra thank you to Dorothy and Charles and to Kate and also to Linda for being on this evening. Good night. Good night, everyone.
Well, wasn't that pretty neat? Ha ha! Listen to that. You can do the same thing. Deborah was doing this. That was 2006, 20 years ago. And listen, everybody you speak to, they have the same story as her guests had on that conference call and all the ones that preceded. We started doing those conference calls, I think, in about 2000. And of course, now we're doing the podcast with the videos because it is what we do these days. You can still do a conference call audio the way she did it. Collect the people together and start doing them. If you want me to be on your first one, the first few, I'll do it. I'll be happy to be your co-host. You'll be the key, but I'll handle everything until you get used to it. Just give it a try. Watch and see how great it is. Start collecting people together and get your own calls done, either audio or video. So Deborah did this in, 2006. And of course, it was a great call, as you can tell. And all she did was the regular thing that you do: pay it forward, talk to people, ask them how they are, ask them to explain. It's really easy. So go forward, pay it forward. Remember, we are on a health crusade, and we need you to be the ambassador of health that we need so badly, just like Deborah was. All righty. We'll see you next time. Don't forget, take an ounce and feel the bounce. Bye for now.